pain level.
C. diff came back negative, which is good.
I figured it would.
It's good to recheck,
Oh yeah.
Antibiotics for so long.
So my pain really is just this whole right flank. Still very.
This leg light.
The leg looks awesome.
Oh yeah. Good skin. Just a little bit in the middle.
There's a tiny bit left to fill in. So, this whole side is just so sore, so painful, so tender to like movement, breathing, and then there are a couple of spots that are just kind of isolated that are more painful or for the most part tender, not as painful.
Yeah.
Than others.
Look at those incisions. I want to make sure there's not redness here. Alright, that's not affected. That's not affected.
Yeah, my belly button really bothered me yesterday.
Yeah. Is that starting to get better? There's no redness there or there, so that's good.
That means healing though, right? The irritation.
Okay. Belly is definitely softer.
That hurts.
How many bowel movements a day are you having?
1, 2. That hurts. Oh.
Right there.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a couple of small bowel movements. I've had one today that was pretty small.
Do you think you need to be on a stool softener or something or it's moving?
No, it's moving.
Okay. All right.
I'll even sit down to urinate and stool just comes out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can't still bumped, but with the I think it's all the steroids.
Yeah,
I think
bumped
it's all
a lot today though.
And steroids, yeah. It's
Okay.
normal. You hit anybody with
Hawkins
63
and Trait
times
yesterday.
a day of IV steroids. My wife would do the same thing. So I'm not worried. I think at this point it's all the ulcerative colitis.
Yeah.
You responded well to the steroids last time, and this time around is not nearly as severe as it was a month ago when you
no kidding
had that severe flare up. So I think we just got to continue the IV steroids until we see that pain improving, and as that starts improving, then we switch you to the oral steroids, and then you go home.
So really, that's the only indicator is what
The
I
pain,
feel.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That pain is related to that colitis at this point, which is good. So
Even the pain that's from being kind of ripped from the abdominal wall, is that still?
yeah, I mean,
is that inflammation that will go away
it's hard
on
to
its
say
own?
with all the steroids you've been on, you definitely aren't. But the section, where you had the abscess, where that was down on the right pelvis there. I mean, again, all the dissection was intra-abdominal, was just kind of along that wall there.
Right.
We didn't go into the wall itself.
Yeah.
But that's where everything was just irritated. But that was more down here. I think you're painful up and down like you were when you had that initial colitis flare up. And then on the CT, that's where that right side is inflamed again from the colitis. So as the steroids keep working, that hopefully will start improving here.
And then the pathology from the appendix.
I haven't seen it yet. Is it back?
Yeah, it's just acute appendicitis. Almost as though it was just some coincidence that it happened at the same time. It's kind of
It's not
what I took from Trait. Okay.
Yeah. There was
Pretty big coincidence, I would say.
If you look at the original CT, the whole reason you had appendicitis was secondary to the whole cecum was inflamed and thickened and all the way to the base of so there's no doubt why this thing was obstructed. And the other thing that was very different from a standard appendicitis that we did is that there was no where it ruptured was highly unusual. So most of the time, ruptured appendicitis is going to be in the mid portion or near the tip, because it starts wider and then narrows down, and that's usually like if you get a piece of stool stuck in there, it's called a fecal lift. That's where it'll burst. Okay, so in my experience, the vast majority of patients with ruptured appendicitis, it's there. Now, it can happen closer to the base, but it's usually in the appendix. Yours was literally like at the origin of the cecum, which means the obstruction was
Is
in the
100%.
cecum itself,
Yeah.
which makes sense in the light of the, I think it's
Yeah.
so swollen shut from the colitis has shut that area up.
So how was I just like going about everyday life not knowing how inflamed and nasty I was inside?
Well, and you were probably doing okay until you weren't, and that's when you have those sort of severe
that's
ulcerative colitis, and having not been on medicine, it just wasn't
Yeah.
keeping it at bay. It worked for a while, but
yeah.
time ran out from that standpoint. All right, well, for now it's antibiotics. Are you doing okay with the? I mean, steroids, but I'm still
Steroids.
keeping you on antibiotics just to cover the other stuff. Anyway.
Okay. I was gonna ask about that, the additional antibiotics.
Yeah, I mean, at some point
but
we
I
probably
figured-
can stop it. I just would like to see that white count coming down.
Yeah.
That's just covering the stuff that did grow out of the cultures. I really think at this point all that's left is just another bout of ulcerative colitis. That last CT looks so good. It's the best one yet. So
Good.
Hang
Trey
in there.
said, whenever I'm out of here, I'll go in as an outpatient and taper down 5 milligrams every few
yeah, he
weeks.
thought probably a slower taper than what we were
Yeah.
doing the first time around would be helpful. So.
Yeah.
Boy, you got so close. You got the white count of 12,000. I was like, yes, we're gonna.
Here we go.
And
Nope.
Wrong way. All right, I gotta run to the
All right.
office.
Thanks so
See you
much.
later.